Have you ever wondered where demons come from? If you were raised in church like me, then you probably think that 1/3 of the angels that sided with Lucifer turned into demons after the initial fall, right? If your heart is open to new revelation though, this video is for you. Now, this whole subject is massive, so I won't be able to explain everything. But I encourage you to do your own research on this if this is a subject that interests you. Remember, this isn't a salvation issue, so we can disagree all day. That's totally fine, whatever. To make this simple, there are a couple different groups of rebellious angels that are spoken of in the Bible. The ones that I want to mention today are referred to as the sons of God that are referenced in Genesis 6. Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born to them, and the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves and all who they chose. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. We can see clearly here that angelic beings who were part of God's spiritual family left heaven as their dwelling place and came down here all because of lust. If that doesn't show you how much lust is a problem, then I don't know what will. But that's a video for a whole nother day. So these angels saw some human hotties and they took wives for themselves. They had sex with them, and then their offspring became the giants of those days, which are called the Nephilim. The Nephilim were a mix of angelic DNA and human DNA. They were literally hybrid abominations that were never meant to exist. Remember that. The first thing that you probably think of when I mention a giant in the Bible is the story of David and Goliath. I bring this up because much of the Old Testament is laced with stories that mention giants who have inhabited lands that were promised to the Israelites. I want you to remember this because I'm going to come back to it in part 3. It's like of the mini-series of talking about demons. In our modern Christian belief, we tend to assume that in the days of Noah, God chose to send the flood because of how evil and corrupt humans had become on the earth over the course of those 500 years. And while I truly believe this to be true because the Bible says so, I believe the rest of the story has been overlooked. Think about it like this. It wasn't just sin that was present on earth in those days. When angels started to reproduce with humans, therefore mixing DNA, their offspring became a form of life that God never intended to exist. The Nephilim were born from rebellion against God and therefore an abomination to him. He didn't just send the flood because evil had taken over. I believe he sent it because there was a risk of the entire human race having a mix of hybrid DNA. And Noah and his family were the only pure ones left. That's just what I think. God responded to this mass amount of evil by getting rid of it to save his human family. I'm uploading part 2 of this mini-series on demons tomorrow morning, so make sure to come back for that one. See you guys later. Peace.